Hi, my name is Sharon Devonish Lead. I am the founder of NetStruck PR. I'm also a publicity strategist. I help entrepreneurs and small businesses identify themselves within the community and the media as experts within their industry. I also help build their credibility. With that, I help them grow their awareness within the community as well as increase their leads so they can make more profits. All of this through the workings of media. And that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about today. Why is it important to utilize the media to help grow your brand? But there's a couple of things that you have to do in order to gain the media's trust or even gain the media's interest. And the one thing is, how do you know if you are newsworthy? Newsworthy is important when you're dealing with the media. Why? Because that's what they talk about. It's news. It's for it's for their audience. So they want to make sure whoever they are interviewing, you are interested to them as well as to their listening audience. So they do their research. Journalists and reporters do their research. They do surveys. They connect with their audience to see what do their audience listen to? What are the type of topics and interests that their audience listens to? And then they go out and they start looking for businesses and organizations, not for profits, you name it. They start looking for those type of stories to build credible content. And that's where you would come in. How can you be newsworthy? So there's 4 tips that I work with my clients on to be newsworthy. Now there's more, but these are 4 credible tips that I use that I found to be successful with me and my clients. So the first one is, how do you look in terms of aligning yourself with media, with the news that's current? And what do I mean by that? Right now, there's top things that the media is always talking about: the pandemic, social unrest, mental health issues, dealing with the social unrest, dealing with the pandemic, quarantine, youth being home, working remotely, the election. You know, we still have the residual from the election. I mean, there are just so many things that are going on that the media literally is pretty much resurfacing sometimes, because of something that just pops up. How can you, as a business, align yourself with what's going on in the news? And what I mean by align yourself, how is it that you can be relatable? How can you be relatable to the quarantine? How can you be relatable to mental health issues dealing with the quarantine, or dealing with the social unrest that's going on, or dealing with the election, or what's going on now with the new administration, or anything to that extent? Put yourself put yourself in that journalist's shoes. What would they like to hear, or what would they want to add on to what they're already writing about that would bring more valuable content to their listening or readers, their listening audience or readers? So I want you to really think about that, because that could be very powerful. You are now helping that journalist able to create a impactful and powerful story for their readers. And guess what? You're in it. Even if it's a mention, so they want to get an expert opinion, or they just do a full blown feature on you. Either way, you are being mentioned in that outlet as a credible or expert. You are being mentioned in something that is going around either local wide, statewide, or national. So really start thinking about jotting down what type of things are going on in the media and see how your business can align to it. Make sure that your industry or your business actually can be aligned to it, credible, or at least, semi, because what you don't want to do is pitch to them and it's something that's totally off the wall, that you're really trying to fit a square peg into a hole. Don't do that. They will see through that and they will not actually cover you. They'll actually put you on a blackball list. So make sure that what you're doing, it makes sense. You don't want to pitch to the media about something that they're going to turn around and, have a question mark with you about, or have to scratch their head or just get confused. The last thing that you want to do is confuse a journalist, because again, they have so many things getting thrown at them that the simplest thing to make them get confused, they lose interest automatically. And they remember these things. So don't do that to yourself. The second tip that I use for my clients and that I want to talk to you about is, how can you bring an awareness to a particular situation or to a particular issue? So, for instance, we're in March. March has a numerous amount of awareness days, and it's also an awareness month. So, what I want you to do is sit down, go on the computer, Google awareness month for March or the whole entire calendar. See what on that month can be related to you, your brand, and make up a pitch. So, for example, March is Women's History Month. There are so many things that you can tie a pitch into with Women's History Month. The media is literally covering so many things on that. Look to see what is your business doing to highlight women. Maybe your business is being ran by a woman. Maybe your business, has something in a line to that a woman was very impactful to your success, and you want to do a pitch and send that out. Put something together. The worst thing that you can do is not send something out credibly wise, but you want to make sure that you are bringing an awareness. So that's Women's History Month. Another one is on the health side is it's colon awareness month. Go get your colon screenings. I have a client that she is a GI, and she goes around to the community and she does these community awareness presentations. She found out about a couple of years ago that there were statistics that African Americans age for the first time that they get their screenings has changed to instead of 50, it was 45. And then she started doing her research to see how more and more African Americans were dying before the age of 50 because they didn't get their colon screenings. So she was going out doing these awareness workshops. We did a pitch, we sent that out, and the media ate it up actually, because they're not doing that type of research on a clinical side. So there's some research they're doing, but there's some that they're not. So when you bring that aha moment to them, oh, they're going to love you. They're going to love you, and they're going to come back to you because they see you as a valuable asset to them now, because you're bringing valuable content to them so they can now give it to their listening audience. So that's the awareness. The third one is be a solution. How can you be a solution to a particular issue? That is so critical. So, for example, and I love giving examples for me to really break it down for you to understand what I mean by these particular tactics that I use. So, I have another client, and what they did was they saw that there was a need for young kids that during the quarantine, they really weren't, having fun or interacting the way that they did when they were face to face. So, what my client did was they actually put together a learning tool through trivia for young kids. And it was a workbook and flashcards. And they put this together. We did a launch. And now, they saw that there was a need, and they started, getting these out to young kids and to families and to schools. So they saw the need. They saw that there was an issue going on with their friends, with their with their classmates, and they're talking and they're like, I miss hanging out with you. So now they have this workbook that they go on their Zoom, and they have this club, and they're going through it, and now they're having fun as if they're face to face. That is a solution. Kids were not having fun learning anymore because they weren't face to face. And they came with something, put it together, and brought a solution to the issue. That's what I mean by be a solution. Think about what's going on, what problematic issues are going on, and try to put something in place that your business actually is relatable to, and can be a solution to. It's not something where you want to go outside. Not, I don't want to say outside the box, because you can be very creative and outside of the box, but I want to be very clear. It has to be relatable. It has to be something that your business is doing, but you didn't think of it in that particular way. So there's a lot of deep dive thinking and critical thought process when you're putting these type of pitches together, because you want to be creative. Media loves creativity. So you want to try to stay within that realm of making sure that everything is relevant and everything is relatable, and put it together and then see what happens. Don't always just pitch to just one media outlet, because I'll be honest with you, you'll get discouraged because it probably won't be that moment for you, or it probably is not that timing that what they're looking to do that type of story. So send it out to a couple of media outlets that you would think that that actually covers these type of stories, and see if they'll pick it up. The next one is a give back. I always love giving back. I love when my business is involved with giving back. The media loves a good give back story. And what do I mean by give back? It doesn't necessarily have to be monetary. It could be time, it could be product, it could be collaboration with a particular organization, non-for-profit organization that does things in the community. So you be creative when it's in terms of you giving back to the community. So for instance, let's say you want to give back to the community, and I'm going to look for in terms of product or monetary. Back to school. You go into the community and you give backpacks out. You go into the community and you give free turkeys out. Or you serve your time, you can actually be serving the homeless. You can actually be going into the schools or doing free workshops on a particular topic, keeping kids out of trouble. These are the type of things that you could put a press release together, or you could do a pitch and find out if the media would like to come out and cover it. So you want to make sure that you're staying relevant, and you want to make sure that you stay in with the community. Community engagement is very, very important for a business, especially a small business and an entrepreneur. The bigger, larger companies, they have the money, they have the bandwidth. So sometimes if they don't need to, which I totally disagree, but some of them, they feel that they don't need to do community engagement. That's totally up to them, because guess what? They have deep pockets and they have a lot of money, and they can literally go out and just spend on, advertisements and whatever. But dealing with a small business and entrepreneur, we don't have that. So we have to be creative. The media would love to do a nice story on an entrepreneur or business that's giving back to the community. So I want you to start thinking about that and actually putting those things in place. Do something on a monthly basis, do something on a quarterly basis, but stay relevant in the community. Always, always stay relatable to them as well. So those are the things that what I, put in place with my clients. How do you align yourself with the current times, with news that's going on? Being an awareness to a particular issue. Be a solution to a problem that's going on, and a good give back. Always give back. The next thing that I want to talk about is, how does your online footprint look? So you apply these great tips that I just spoke about in relation to you, getting into the media, being newsworthy. The next thing is, now they like you. They pick your story up or your pitch up. What do you think they're going to do next? They have to do their research. They have to see if you are doing what you're saying that you're doing. So they're going to go on every single platform that you have under your business name and under your name to make sure that you are not talking anything in a false way. So here's an example. I'm going to give you a couple of examples for this. Your website, your online, your front line publicity for yourself is your website. If you do not have a website, shame on you. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. It could literally be just, like a landing page or something to that extent, to show that you have that you're a business. And some people look at it like, I don't have the money, I don't have the bandwidth, I don't have this to have a website. Well, listen, if you want to be taken seriously for your business, get a website. It, like I said, it does not have to be elaborate. It does not have to be something, with a whole bunch of bells and whistles, but it should look clean. It should be clear, concise, easy to follow, and show what you are doing. Indicate what your business is about. Have some high quality photos on there to show you in action. If you're a speaker, have some of those. I know we're during the quarantine right now, but if you're just starting, then put some things out in terms of what you were doing in the past. Make sure it's relevant. They're going to go, first thing they're going to go to is your website. And if they see that there's no website, that's an antenna that's going to raise. So that's one. Make sure your website is clear, concise, it's relatable, and it follows what you are pitching. So the next one is your social media platforms. So we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have LinkedIn, we have YouTube. Whatever platform you are using, make sure they all are consistent. Do not have your Twitter account talking about politics and your Facebook page has nothing to do with politics. If you deal with politics, if that's your business, then stay consistent. If not, what you want to do is make sure that whatever you post, all of that is the same. Change it up a little, but everything needs to be the same. Do not confuse anyone. Don't confuse people that go to your page. That's the worst thing that you can do. I've spoken to journalists and I've, reached out to them and said, asked them their opinions on how do they feel about businesses pitching to them and there's some type of, confusion. And they say, Sharon, I don't have time. I legitimately do not have time. So make sure that what you're posting is relevant. Make sure that if anyone goes to your page and looks at what you and looks at your business, that they know that you are a journalist, or they know that you are a motivational speaker, that they know that you're a publicist. I post interviews. I post little sayings and motivational quotes about, how you need to, stay positive. And going into media, you have to be a positive individual. They're not going to come out and do a interview on you, a positive interview on you, on your brand and your business, if you're always negative. You don't want to be seen in that light. So refrain from posting anything negative. Refrain from posting anything controversial. Refrain, unless, again, it's related to your brand in terms of the controversial. Refrain from posting anything that you would not want your grandmother to see. Okay? If you respect your grandmother, you would not put that on there. And I say that clearly because your personal page, everybody thinks that your personal page is your personal page. I'm going to leave it private. I don't need to include that. I'm just going to put all of my stuff that I want to put out on there on my personal page. And I'm good. Wrong. Do not think that way. I want you to understand, if the media goes, they're going to look at all your platforms. So they're going to look at your business page and they're going to look at your private page. If your private page is private, your personal page is private, it's going to raise another antenna. They're going to say, what are you hiding? Why are you not looking at that? And they're not going to come to you and say, well, I noticed that your personal page is private. Do you want to explain why? No, they're just going to move on. And then you're going to wonder, why is it I just did a great pitch related to, it was bringing an awareness, or if it was solving a problem or anything to that extent, and nobody bit, because their research showed that you were hiding something. And that's not with all journalists and reporters, but that's the vast amount of them. So make sure that whatever you put on your social media page, it's clean, it's relatable, and it's not anything that's going to show that you are, doing something crazy. And what I mean by crazy, you're at a party getting turned up, you're doing whatever, you're drinking in front of the video. You never do things like that, because people don't want to be aligned with that. Even though people have occasionally glasses of wine and so forth like that, You do not want to be put yourself in that situation because again, the media has they have a professional level that they have to stay with. So they want to make sure whoever they're bringing on their platform is also professional. So I hope this helps. I hope that this content, you start thinking differently about getting into the media. And I hope that, this is something where if you haven't used the media, now you're going to start doing it. I would love to extend a free PR consult for you. So if you're interested, just go to my website, which is netstruckpr.com. That's netstrucpr.com. Click on it. Go to the page that says let's talk. Let's, send me a message. I'll send you my calendar and we'll be able to have a chat and I'll give you a free PR consult on your business and we can talk about it. If you have media already, great. We could talk about how you can enhance it. If you have no media, then that's even better because now I can really show you how you can actually maximize this the right way and gain media exposure. I'm also doing a free mastermind class coming up, so you'll see that on my website. I look forward to speaking with each and every one of you. Once again, my name is Sharon Devonish Lead. I am a publicity strategist and I am the founder of Netstruck PR. And I thank you for looking to go into the media to help grow your brand. Thanks.